Hey, Franciaco here. Hey, Eugene. Hey, Lucy. Just want to say what's up and how you guys doing. I appreciate all the love you guys show to the black tennis players. It means a lot. Definitely going a long way, especially to me. And keep that thing going, man, because we need more of us playing the game. So y'all be easy and hope to see you around Wimbledon time.
Hey Eugene, hey Lucy. I wanted to just take a minute to tell you guys thank you so much for all the hard work you guys do promoting the black tennis players out here. There aren't that many of us, so for us to kind of have a sense of camaraderie, knowing when we get posted on you guys' page, we're kind of getting our name out there and gaining a little notoriety. Really means a lot, and I really want to say thank you, and I hope you guys continue to do the excellent work that you are already doing. And if there's ever anything I can do to help, please don't ever hesitate to reach out. I love to support. I love to do anything I can just to try to keep it going. So thank you guys so much for all the work you do, and hope to hear from you soon.
Hello guys, welcome back to Black Spin Global, best tennis podcast out here, best podcast ever. Episode 42 or 43, something. Eugene, how you doing?
I'm good, Lucy. Very tired, but yeah, we're pushing through.
We're trying. Before we actually go, I'm good. Do you know why I'm very good? Because earlier this week, we've celebrated our 2-year anniversary of Black Spin Global podcast. No, I didn't show you this earlier, but in order for me to celebrate, I made myself a margarita.
Hey,
so I'm good.
I'm just cheers. I got some water. So cheers.
So cheers. We celebrate, But I do want to ask you, what has been your favorite moment or moments the past 2 years with the podcast?
To be fair, there's been a few. Like, if we're just looking at 2021, I'd say like the interviews we've managed to secure again, and just the kind of the growing or continued continued that we're getting. I think that's I can't, like I said, it's really humbling, and I can't really put it into words, which is not really great for a podcast, but yeah, man, it's just really humbling. And obviously the continued kind of growth in general, on the social media platforms, Instagram in particular. I can't really think of one particular moment. I mean, obviously we had the Jenkins brothers as well that closed out 2021, which is huge.
Yeah.
So I think that's probably up there as one of my favorites, if not the favorite. What about you?
Same. I'll definitely say that interview. I think that I can't explain it. Obviously, all the other, first of all, our first player was Francis Tiafoe, which now, hands down friends of a pod. That ain't nothing. That is it. But
let me just cut you there, Lucy. Our first actual player was Sasha Vickery.
Sasha Vickery, that's
exactly.
it.
Yeah.
That's true.
That was in 2020.
But I feel like that Francis Tiafoe moment, I literally remember we literally even hugged each other at the end. We were so fucking excited.
Yeah.
We did it! Oh my gosh!
Oh shit.
It was literally a big ass moment. But definitely I think the Jenkins ones was because to them with their schedule and the way they are, and the fact that they were so friendly, they were so cool with everything, and we had that in works for months, if you remember.
It was a long time.
It was a long time,
100%.
but it was worth the wait. But I will agree with you, man. I feel like getting recognition is not only from the players and coaches, and I feel like every Black person who's interested in tennis basically being interested because of to our platform, even tennis Twitter or people on Instagram. Thank you guys. I can't believe it. This pod really started in a panoramic. We did not know what was going on, and we're still going. So cheers.
No, indeed. Cheers. indeed. But
all right,
I think we should get into, obviously we've not recorded since the end of the Australian Open.
Guys, sorry about that. Last time we recorded with our videos and stuff, thinking it's going to be the first one. technical difficulties.
Obviously, we did bring the Hailey Baptiste interview. Shouts out.
Yes, we did. Shout out to that.
After that, so
shout out to that, and thank you to her again, because she literally did that, and like she was on her way hustling, doing her own thing mid-route. And also shout out to the Instagram followers who included their questions. I think this is something that we should definitely keep doing.
Yeah,
I think that was really fun to keep everyone else like involved in it as well. So I like that. I really did. Yeah.
But I mean, since then, I mean, not much has really happened. It's been pretty dead. It's been pretty quiet.
So quiet. So quiet, guys. Nah. This was us. We were like, yeah, we're gonna do a quick pod and everything. Like I was even like, we don't even need to even write down anything. And then when Eugene did bring out a time where we did record a pod once where we did not note that anything, was kind of chaotic, and I was like, yeah, you're right, let me just write down some notes. And when I was writing down, I was like, it's been a lot. Like it's so much going on. I don't think I think now, because we've reduced the amount of time we are podding, I think we're not really realizing how many things are going on. And plus we've got our own fucking lives, mate.
I was just gonna say, both started new jobs as well, which is like,
shout out to us.
It's just like, it's a lot. A lot's been happening, like personally, but we're back, and like, I think it's only right we start on a positive note.
100%.
February was a very good month. In America, obviously, in America, it's Black History Month, which some people have their own views and opinions on. I am not really a fan. I think it's Black History every day. Like, we don't need a month.
For sure.
But in terms of, looking at the tennis landscape anyway, it was a very good month for Black players. So we had Felix winning in Rotterdam, the ATP 500, his first ATP Tour title, and it was just an incredible like run. Like I've got obviously in my notes how it started for him. So he was actually a set down in the first round against Igor Gerasimov, but came back and won, and then had Andy Murray in the second round. Pretty comprehensive straight sets win. And that was the second meeting with Andy Murray, obviously a former world number one. And then in the quarterfinals, he had the 6th seed Cameron Norrie, again, straight sets. And I don't think Felix has lost to Norrie. I think they've played each other twice now, I want to say. And Felix again has won both times. And then this is where it started to heat up. So in the semi-finals, he had the defending champion, Andrei Rublev. And that was a free set match. And
I think we all knew that one was going to be a tricky one.
A really, really quality match though. Like just both players playing at a really high level. Do you remember, were you watching much of it, or were you, because I wasn't, I was actually out, but I had it like on my phone.
I can't remember top of my head, I'm not going to lie to you. I can't remember top of my head. From
what I was able to see, like basically, on my phone, it was just an incredible level. And I enjoy watching Rublev play. I think he's one of the like more exciting players like on the tour at the moment. I think he's like top 10, like top 5 even. But Felix,
I think he won a tournament this year anyways, or 2 or something. He's been consistent. He won Marseille, which we'll talk about in a bit. But
Felix took him out in 3 sets, and then in the final he had Stefano Tsitsipas, and it was a pretty comprehensive victory for Felix. Straight sets, 78 minutes, like, so pretty dominant. And considering in his previous 8 finals he'd never won a set, to kind of
it was big, boy,
to get the business done the way he did. Like, it was a massive moment, and his mum was there as well all week, which was quite nice as well to see. And there's
I think he FaceTimed his dad.
Exactly.
As soon as
like he was like in tears. Like it meant a lot, and rightly so. But just I loved your tweet as well. With I forgot the actor's name now. He's actually English, which shocked me.
Oh yes, I know what you're talking about. Yeah. I know you're talking about.
But like, I was like, that's quality. Like, that really captured like what it meant.
It was true excitement. Everyone was happy, like, because like, how many finals, bro? Like, it was honestly like, shout out to Jordan. That post was especially for her. So she's always been rooting for Felix, and the moment came, I know she was definitely excited. But yeah, man, I'm really happy that he did that. He seems to have extremely focused this year. I feel like for his age, he's so mature and so focused.
21.
Yeah, it's absolutely insane.
I do want to give us, I want to give us credit as well, though, Lucy, because we did say after his run to the Australian Open semi-finals, like obviously he lost to Daniil Medvedev, but yeah, well, I'm just going to say from my point of view anyway, I was like, you know what, that slam for me for Felix was like a defining like moment, because it kind of showed that like he kind of like crossed over in terms of like getting to that next stage. And I think, yeah, he then obviously proved that in Rotterdam with you know, getting the first, or securing his first title. So I think it's only like going to be continued success for him like from this point on. And I think I wouldn't be surprised if he does like, yeah, win big. Well, he's going to win bigger tournaments, but I'm saying this year, this 2022, like it could be a massive year for Felix. So I hope that's the case, basically.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. Like, I feel like we kind of even saw that from last season, to be honest. Like, he was reaching to, I mean, yes, there were like some up and down, but if you look at where he was, it was incredible. Like Wimbledon, especially, for example, like he was doing really well, even at the start of the year as well.
Yeah, US Open, he got to the semi-finals at the US Open as well. Like,
and he always had like kind of like tough draws as well. So I'm really glad that he took that over to this year to make sure that, you know, he's still grinding and still doing well. So it was really nice, honestly, seeing him winning that final, man. Like I was so happy.
And then he backed it up with another like run to the final the following week in Marseille, I want to say. And there it was Marseille, and that was an ATP 250. And yeah, in the final there, he met Andre Rublev. So it was like a replay of the semi-final from Rotterdam. But before Rublev, I do want to talk about the match he played against Joe Wilfried Tsonga. And that was the quarterfinals. Really nice moment. Yeah. Like Felix obviously won in straight sets, but like obviously Tsonga was basically one of Felix's like idols growing up. And like he did kind of speak about that as well, like after the match, just saying like what an inspiration like Tsonga was. And like Tsonga had some nice words to say about him as well, like in a post on social media, which is really nice to see. So yeah, man, it's just we hate to see like when black players are like basically pitted against each other like in the earlier rounds of tournaments, but yeah, when it's like quarterfinals, semi-finals, finals, we don't mind. It's not that bad.
You know how I feel. But we'll speak more further to that with the Indian Wells, because that's not even right now. It's even too early to even bring that, but you know how I feel. But yeah, honestly, I feel like that was definitely a moment for him as well. Like, it's really not, I feel like playing your idols is different, but I really feel like for the black players is a whole different thing, because it's like there's only a few of you that I could look at and be like, okay, I'm gonna do this, and yet alone even be able to play against them. Like, you know, that's why every single black player that's played any other older gen, you know, they always say the same thing, like, oh, I can't believe this moment happens, but you understand it, man. So I'm really happy that, I mean, sad, but happy at the same time. And honestly, seeing Tsonga still playing, that's still dope as well.
Yeah, no, 100%. So yeah, that was Felix's February. Another player that had a good February, Sloane Stephens.
Yes, sir.
Doing her thing in Guadalajara, Mexico. So she bagged her 7th career title. And her first since Miami in 2018. And again, like a really nice kind of like route or journey to the final and to the title ultimately for Sloane. So she beat the 14-year-old qualifier Brenda Frahitova. I guess Brenda Frahitova. Basically,
look at me. I don't know how to start their name.
A young up-and-coming junior, very promising, 14 years old. But yeah, Sloane dispatched of her pretty comprehensively. I think it was 6-2, 6-2. And then in round 2, she had the French girl, Chloe Parquet or Parquet. I don't know how you say the name in French, but again, straight sets for Sloane. And then in the quarterfinals, it got a bit trickier. So she had Darius Saville, and Sloane had to come back from a set down to win that one. And again, it was I watched all her matches really up until from that point. So that Saville match was like my first time like really paying proper attention like to what was going on in Guadalajara. And yeah, like it's a nice tournament, to be fair. Like just in terms of like the atmosphere and like, yeah, the Mexicans, they do enjoy their tennis.
Yeah, to be fair, I'm not gonna lie, I didn't think like, you know, I didn't expect the crowd to be that proper, like engaged and stuff and whatnot. Like, when you think about it, it's not like there's a lot of tournaments there, so it kind of makes sense. But yeah, the crowd, there's definitely good vibes. And
I think the players enjoy that as well, like just basically, playing in that kind of atmosphere. And then, yeah, things got a bit tricky in the semi-final. So she played Anna Kalinskaya, I think she's Russian. And yeah, Kalinskaya had to retire. So she won the first set, Kalinskaya. And then Sloane was love 3 down in the second, came back and won it 7-5. And then Kalinskaya retired after that. I think she had a back injury or something. So yeah, Sloane then progressed to the final where she played Mary Bushkova. And again, that was a topsy-turvy, like 3-setter. Sloane won the first set. I think Bushkova won the second. And then, yeah, Sloane took the decider. And then, yeah, that was Sloane's 7th title. And again, a nice kind of rankings jump for Sloane as well. I think she jumped up into the top 40 nice. After that. So yeah, a good week for Sloane in back in February, and it's kind of a nice kind of, I don't know, foundation to kind of build on now for the rest of the year.
Definitely. And she's back with Kamal Murray as well.
Yeah, which was nice to see
that. I really just stick to him. Clearly it looks like I would love to know why the on and off. Fine, you don't owe us anything, but
to be fair, like, Kamal does a lot of, like, he's got his own tennis academy, and like he does a lot of things.
All these niggas are doing their own shit, but you don't see them like, going on and off and all that. But I really, it's just like, I feel like she just needs that, consistency. And it seems that compared to all the other coaches that she's worked with, I feel like he's the only one that really works well with her for now, till she actually finds someone else. I don't know, but either way, I'm so glad, because one thing about Stephens, the skills are just there. I've always said it, I feel like she had a huge mental block the last 2 years, especially last year, losing, her grandparents and then the COVID and blah, blah, blah. Like, I feel like, there was a lot. This is assumptions. I even think it was probably even more with her relationship, because it was a time where it was hella quiet and pictures were deleted, and I was being that nosy fan. I'm sorry. But
that's another thing as well. We forgot to congratulate her and her husband Josie Altidore, because obviously they got. Didn't
we on the first pod?
We didn't. I don't think we did, Lucy. Yeah,
I'm so sorry, Stephens. Shout out to Black Love. Hello. Shout out to Black Love. Shout out to them. Yeah, really, really nice. So this is her first title as a Mrs. So
exactly, yeah, Mrs. Altidore.
Yeah. I really, you know what? I just hope that she's just in a better mental space. Yeah. She's always been a huge advocate of like mental health and taking care of yourself and whatnot. So I'm really, really hoping that is the case for her, and just keep pushing, man. I'm really looking forward to her like this, season. And yeah, I think 100%. Her winning this is definitely a push.
Yeah, no, I agree. And I do also want to shout out Sweden, particularly Elias Immer, and obviously Mikkel as well. But yeah, Sweden, they qualified for the Davis Cup finals. So they beat Japan in their like playoff match, and that was at the start of March. So it's like 2 weekends ago now. But yeah, basically Elias won all of his matches. So he played 2 singles and 1 doubles, and yeah, won all of those. And yeah, it's just a really, like, obviously Elias and Mikkel is the top. I think he's the number world. Well, he's the Swedish number 1. just inside the top 100, and Elias being just outside the top 100 is the Swedish number 2. Obviously, 2 brothers being number 1 and 2,
good.
like for Sweden, like it's crazy. And obviously, their heritage, they're Ethiopian, like their parents are from Ethiopia, which they do acknowledge as well, which I do love. But yeah, I just thought it was really nice. Like I did tweet about this. So the Sweden Davis Cup captain Robin Söderling had some nice words to say about both of them after. So he just basically said that Elias and Mikael are role models for many boys and girls. I mean, we need more of these role models to inspire and attract young talent to start playing tennis. And yeah, I tweeted that with a nice picture of both Elias and Mikael. And obviously we're big fans of them, like on Blackspin. And I just think, again, like what they're doing, like for Swedish tennis, like being basically the 2 main players, and obviously both being black, it's very significant. And I just hope, and I don't know, obviously I don't really have any links to Sweden, but I just hope they are getting the kind of recognition and like the love they deserve, like in Sweden, for like what they're doing.
I will say, I think this year is coming up a little bit, like even around the whole Davis Cup thing, that it was the first time I started seeing a lot more of their names besides from us.
Okay.
I think after, I can't remember, was it Mikael who played against Tsitsipas during the Australian Open?
Yeah, exactly.
That he played at the central court as well, so I feel like that was kind of a push. And then the Davis Cup happened. I do think when around the Davis Cup thing, I definitely did see a little bit more hype around them. So I think this year might be the year where people are like, oh, let's keep an eye on these 2.
Yeah.
But again, we're not in Sweden, so maybe it's a whole different thing in Sweden. They're probably, you know, it depends on, I don't know if they even watch tennis, but either way, we are celebrating him. And
Facts.
Everyone else and people are going to keep on celebrating him, and should just keep on doing what they do, man. Really excited.
Big facts. So yeah, good luck and like continued success to both Elias and Mikael. And I mean, now I guess
no, wait, hold on. There's more.
Come.
I mean, hey, first of all, we got to congratulate. I don't feel like we can ever do a pod without talking about Serena. Sorry, she's always doing something, whether she's not playing or not. So shout out to her for, what did she do again? Her investment. She raised 111 million for new venture funds, and a lot of it like focusing on, you know, diversity. I think one of them was like, I think she invested like 1 million in one Black-owned business, which literally never happened, and whatever she was like doing. So shout out to her on and off court, making things happen.
Always.
I did really enjoy her CNN interview, which I feel like we need to discuss about like a little bit. So like my number one main thing was how, you know, she pointed out how she felt like she was supposed to have like 30 Grand Slams or something like that. And it was like, as a fan, I'm like, yeah. I'm thinking about sometimes, I do have a question to ask you, right? Name me one Grand Slam final that you feel like Serena should have won.
Oh, don't. Probably
if you can remember.
Probably the Irani US Open.
What year was that again?
Actually, no, that was a semi-final, actually. I can't remember the year, but that was a semi-final. A final.
It's kind of hard. I think the reason why it was hard.
What about Halep, Wimbledon? So I know that's probably one of the most recent ones.
You're going.
I know that touches a nerve for you. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I get, but you're right.
Kerber at Wimbledon. I can't remember the year.
Do you know why I allowed the Kerber one? Because that was her first final.
Okay.
Back from maternity. So I will allow it.
Yeah.
The Halep one? Oh no, that's hard to accept. That is very hard. That is extremely hard for me to accept.
Okay.
That's extremely hard for me to accept. For me, okay, because you already picked Halep. It might be Australian Open 2016. I think that one was against Kerber, actually.
Again,
funny enough. But yeah, that's all. Those are the two that I'm picking.
Fair enough. Yeah.
Those are the two that I'm picking. But
another takeaway from that CNN interview was the this Alexander Zverev thing, which I thought was quality on her part.
And the thing is, she said it. The thing is, we know it, but
Facts.
because she doesn't really speak that much, when she says it, it's like it's even more sudden. It hits even more. I mean, we all know the truth, man. Honestly speaking, like it's just I do you know what, Eugene? I am so convinced that guy has something on the ATP.
No,
because I don't understand how he's literally getting away with this. Like, it's just ridiculous. We need to keep in mind, if the umpire did not move his leg, he literally would have hit. He would have done something.
It's really bad. It's terrible.
I just want to know how the umpires really feel, and I feel like it's only a matter of time for the umpires to come some sort of union or something. Only a matter of time. I said it first. Let's be global. Just saying.
Interesting.
But and there was one last thing that I actually mentioned that I really liked. You know, they were talking about the King Richard movie and about how like it was very important to show how much her mom contributed to her career. So although it was about King Richard and Venus mainly, like they really wanted to make sure that her mom's story was in there. So shout out to Mama Oracine. You know, us Serena fans, we knew. And that was the one thing, because I remember before the movie came out, a lot of like Serena fans were like, wow, I hope this doesn't wipe off like, you know, Oracine's like contribution into the girls' career and stuff. And it did a wonderful job, which is why it's been nominated for Oscars. I need to watch the movie again. What a time. Shout out to Will Smith. Shout out to everyone else. Shout out to Beyonce.
The Oscar nomination.
She deserved it, because Be Alive is that fucking song. I'm just saying. But yeah, there's one more person I do want to shout out to as well, which I feel like is very important to point out here. Taylor Townsend, who literally won her first trophy after giving birth, one of like the pro tennis tournaments. And yeah, I'm really happy for her, because she was very open about, you know, going through like postpartum like stuff after giving birth and everything, and not being too sure. Like she was very, 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 very open. So for her to go from that to this is amazing.
No,
we love you, Taylor.
Definitely. I missed that. So, no, shouts out.
Oh yeah, no, it's like there wasn't that, to be fair, not a lot of people actually did talk about it. She did an Instagram post. That's how I actually knew about it.
Okay.
But yeah, man, I'm so happy for her. I can't wait for her to come back. I love watching her play. Her baby looks cute. So yeah, man, I really hope she's in a better space now, and looking forward to coming back to, you know, tennis. Take your time. If you need to take more time with your baby, that is fine. Thanks. Do not rush at all. But yeah.
No, it's a good shout. Also as well, on the champions, we should mention Coco Gauff as we record this. Shout out her 18th birthday. As we record
that's true. Happy birthday
Sunday.
I was gonna put alcohol, but okay, if you're in the UK, they'll be able to drink.
She's 18.
No, in the US it's 21.
Of course, yeah.
That's why those people can't drink. Hello, if you're
so on her behalf,
you can drink. Yeah, on her behalf, I'm drinking for you. It's legal here, so don't worry. I'm 25 anyway.
Coco also won a doubles title in Qatar with Jessica.
She did.
Jessica Pegula, which was a really good look. And I think Qatar, that's like a WTA 1000, so it's a big deal. So yeah, shouts out to Coco and Pegula.
She's even playing today against Halep.
Massive, huge match as we record.
Huge match. But this will go back to me and the draws later.
We'll discuss shortly. But I mean, I guess now there's only really one place to really go, and that's obviously Indian Wells, tennis paradise. I do, before we get into like the whole, you know, Naomi Osaka thing.
Oh no, not now.
A massive shout out to Rodney Rapson, our guy. So yeah, he's on the grounds in California. And yeah, he's basically the guy that's been getting all these players to like give us shout outs. Yeah. So we had obviously Francis, which we tweeted out, which is great. Francis being our guy. And then Christopher Eubanks, who had a good run. So he qualified and reached the second round after beating Maxime Cressy in the first. But yeah, he also gave us a nice shout out as well. But that was obviously courtesy of Rodney Rapson. So obviously a big thank you to obviously Francis and Christopher, but also a massive thank you to Rodney
Sure.
for like setting that up. I call him the plug because like he's the guy down there like connecting everything for us.
For real.
But yeah, like what where do you want to go next, Lucy? Basically, like obviously we spoke about the draws like privately anyway, and you had your own views as you do about certain players meeting in the first round. Would you want to start there or?
Let's start there. I think that's only right because it's a draw, right? Some of you might be tired of hearing me saying this, but the reason why I'm so glad I say this now is because when I tweeted about it and spoke about it on our IG story, people were agreeing with me, right? And the thing is, these draws are not making sense, Eugene. Why are the niggas always meeting? I don't understand. Why is it always even the most important people? How many times? And Indian Wells is always the worst. Let's just get that right. Indian Wells is always the worst. Do you know what? A lot of the American tournaments, funny enough, that I think about it, because US Open is the worst out of all of them as well. They're just like, niggas, we don't want you guys out quickly. Like, I don't get it. Like, it was Naomi versus Stephens is literally the worst thing that you could actually do to me.
Two former Grand Slam champions.
They said Black History Month is over. Goodbye. We are going back to our regulars program. That is it. That's enough. It's enough, guys. We are going back. Right. So it's what we're going to do. Boom, boom, boom. Yes, I understand there are rules in different ways, but I am so sorry. And I'm so glad. Shout out to everyone who agreed with me on IG story. There's something fishy. That's it. That's what I'm saying. There's something fishy. It does not add up.
I've just got a Davido song in my head. But so for those who don't know, but anyway, I listen.
How did you feel when you saw that the Stephens and Osaka thing?
Yeah, like, I was like, raw. Like it definitely did. It stood out 100%. But then, just looking at it from the perspective of where they are in the rankings, like. That's never like it was inevitable that could have happened basically. Like they're both in very similar positions. But yeah, it was
even Coco. Look at her, she's making it this far and then boom, Halep on her 18th birthday. You guys didn't even allow her birthday, bro. Like, how can you even do that? Even on someone's birthday, let them catch a break. What the fuck?
What did you make of the match? As in Sloane.
First of all, the wind
Naomi.
robbed us. It bloody robbed us, especially at the beginning. It was very annoying, but I feel like if there was no wind, I feel like that could have been easily one of the best matches of the tournament, even though, especially for a first round, because the way they were, because when the wind was not about and when they were hitting, they were fucking hitting. Like there's one point that's still on my mind, like rent free, like literally it was just boom, 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 and then Steven just went like pow, like it was just like, I loved it. I feel like, and I think despite Osaka winning, I do feel like Osaka brought out a side of Stephens that I haven't seen in a while. She really brought out like a lot more of her strength, because I saw one of her strongest forehands that I haven't seen in a very long time. But
as in from Osaka or Stephens? From
Stephens, like I really feel like Osaka was really like, I don't know. To me, I feel like Stephens was like, shit, I've got Osaka in front of me, and I don't think she's ever beaten. No, who's been. Has Stephens, who's beaten Osaka? Was it not Stephens? They're head to head. I can't remember.
I think Stephens has a win.
I think Stephens the one. Yeah, I think she's the one who's been winning again. So yeah, but anyways, I personally had Stephens to win.
Yeah.
Mainly because of the head to head as well. She just won the tournament. Then again, Osaka has showed us that she doesn't need to play 1,000 matches for her to be winning, because it's not the first time where she's done weeks without playing and if she wins whatever round. Yeah, exactly. So, but when we did the poll on Twitter and Instagram, everyone voted like most of the votes were actually to Osaka. So yeah, like as much as I was gutted, it was a very good match. At least I'll give them that. Like, at least we got a good match. Like they both put out a lot of quality there, especially for a first round. The wind messes up, but it's still good. But yeah, what did you think about it?
No, I agree with everything you said. Like, I think I remember messaging you as well, saying basically this match would be so good if it was indoors. Like, just no kind of like weather conditions having any effect on it. Just because man, like just the shot making from both of them was just incredible at points, like you said, when the weather allowed it. But I wasn't that surprised to see Osaka win it. Like, I think, like you said, Sloane coming off the win in Guadalajara, like, she's in form, but I think Osaka, like, she's still like one of the best players, like in terms of just technique and just ability. Like, I think there aren't too many, and Sloane's up there too, don't get me wrong, but when Osaka's on, like, there aren't too many players that can really like contest with her, like, in my opinion. So it was a very good match. Like, the wind played a horrible part, like in terms of just affecting the quality of it, but definitely I think both players adapted well, like, in the end, and like we got a nice kind of contest. But it's just a shame it was like a first round match, like basically, like, that shouldn't really be happening so early on, but
I know
we are where we are because of the ranking. So I guess that's that.
To you is the ranking. To me, it's rigged.
but I think because the women they started earlier than the men. So I think day one it was Robin Montgomery, who was a wild card, 17-year-old wild card.
I watched that,
against Kay Kanepi. And again, that was a good match, like, in terms of just for Montgomery, like, it wasn't a great matchup just because Kanepi's one of like the bigger hitters, like, on tour.
Yeah, exactly. I knew it was going to be a tough one.
And like, you can tell she was quite nervous as well, like, understandably. But she did kind of play her way into it towards like the back end of like the first set and then into the second set as well. But she ultimately lost in straight sets. So Baptiste also was in action on day one.
That was a very close one.
Yeah, so she had Alia Tomljanovic and she took her to 3 sets. Again, that was a winnable match for Baptiste.
And
it just shows, like, she's knocking on the door, like, of being in that top 100, which we did speak about, like, in the interview with her. So again, like, I've got no doubts, like, she'll be in that top 100 very, very soon.
100%.
She gets a wild card.
They were even saying it when she was playing, like, the commentators were like, she's definitely gonna be there.
People are aware of her, like, 100%.
Facts.
And rightly so.
No,
she's been doing her thing.
Yeah, she did well that match. The slices, the forehands, they were there. So just keep going, man.
And then we also had Madison Keys, so she won through. Who did she play in the first round? It was Masaki Doi. And that was not the first round, that's the second round, because she seeds are seeded, so she got a first round bye. And that was on, I want to say, Friday night. She was last on court. So our time, it was like 4 a.m.
Yeah.
This guy stayed up.
I told you I was going to bed. I was like, I'm tired.
I was like, I used to go to bed. And I was just praying, saying, please, Keys, don't go to 3 sets. It went to 3 sets. But no, Keys, she did her thing. She came through. So she's through to the 3rd round.
It's a good year for her, definitely.
Yeah, no, she's been doing her thing. She had a tricky spell in Mexico. Like, she did have some first round exits. But she was struggling with an injury, I think, in Monterrey. But I mean, there was no sign of that in at Indian Wells, or there has been no sign of that in Indian Wells. So hopefully that continues to be the case, and like she can go on a nice run. I think she's got Alison Risk next, so that'll be today or tonight as we record. Also, before we get into the men, Coco Gauff, so she's through to the 3rd round, like you said. So she had Claire Liu in the 2nd round. Again, Coco being seeded, she got a bye into the 2nd round. Did you watch the Claire Liu match, or?
I'm trying to remember. Oh my god.
Because Coco, she's only played once so far. So
I didn't.
Coco, she played really well against Liu. And again, Liu was quite, I think she was nervous at the start as well. I think her first service game, it went on for like over 10 minutes. one of the longest service games that you'll ever
Oh
see.
wow.
But yeah, Coco, she did her thing, and like obviously Coco being 7, or she was 17 at that point, I think Lou's 20 or 21. But yeah, the difference and like kind of just experience, like the younger person being the more experienced, that like at that level, like it was quite telling. But Lou's a good player, man, like really, really like talented player, and I think she's one to watch going forward. I think she's like top 100 now as well. So that could be a nice kind of rivalry in the future. So look out for that. I also want to shout out, obviously, our Italian Ghanaian sister, Jasmine Paolini.
Yes.
doing her damn thing. So she beat Katie Bolter of Great Britain.
British,
yeah, straight sets, pretty comprehensive for Jasmine. And then in the second round, sorry, it was Irina Sabalenka.
Yeah.
World number 3, I want to say.
World number 3, I think she was ranked the number 2 for the tournament.
Exactly, seeded number 2.
Yeah.
But yeah, like what a performance from Jasmine, man. Like,
yeah, that was actually a good match. Yeah.
So crazy. I missed the whole first set because I was watching football. But
I think I caught up from halfway the first set. Yeah, I caught up halfway the first set.
Which she lost.
Yeah,
and then the second set she took it, and then
she was leading that one. Yeah,
it was just all Jasmine. So just really good to see her, like, kind of, I guess, not come of age, but she's been putting in work as well past year and a bit. Like,
good thing about that match as well, it definitely got her name out there, because I feel like, obviously, because she's playing against, top 3 player. So yeah, I saw like a lot more people like talking about her, like, you took all them screenshots and stuff.
Oh, I loved it. Yeah, I love that tweet as well.
Was just like, Paolini. I was like, oh yeah.
I love the tweet about Paolini's going to get a nice Black Spin Global poster.
Hey, you know what?
Hey,
hold on. Let me get their app. Let me shout them out, because I'm not gonna lie, that really put a smile on my face. That I was like, oh raw, like, is this what people thinking?
Absolutely loved it.
She's about done. Shout out to you on Twitter. That was really cool. That's what I went up with that Jay. I was like, hey, get ready. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. I do feel like, especially, you know why that even felt even more special, is because we definitely, like, the one who kind of put her on, like,
we've been the most about for time. 100%. Yeah,
for time. Do you get what I mean? So it's nice that people, putting her name, like, seeing it. She has a nice draw, to be honest. I think she can really, like, go far in this. So
Victoria Golubic next. Which is, I think she's seeded 30. I think she's like the 31st seed, but it's a winnable match, definitely. They played each other before. I want to say last year or the year before last, and Golubic did win, but that was on clay. So this is a hard court, different conditions. Like, Jasmine's coming off the biggest win of her career, first ever top 10 win. Like, she can definitely take that. So
100%.
We keep our fingers crossed. Should we get into the men before we get into Osaka?
Yeah.
So I say men.
Wait, but we haven't had. Now that I think about it, we haven't had a lot that play. I mean, Monfils just played.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying, because obviously the men started later. So Felix and Francis, they're both still to come. There's no Auger-Aliassime in Indian Wells this year. But yeah, Christopher Eubanks, I think we should shout him out, definitely. So he came through qualifying, like we said.
I knew that match against Rude was going to be
world number 8.
Tough one.
Like, again, because that was on at the same time Gail Monfils was playing. So I had Eubanks on my laptop, Monfils on like the TV, but
I know,
keeping my eyes on both. But yeah, Eubanks played really well in that first set, took it to a tie break.
He did.
And like I said, there was very
that was a tight one.
It was very little between them. So, but then in the second set, he kind of did fall away, but it kind of just shows like the level, like in terms of like top 10, like those guys, that it's like they're playing a different game. Like, it's almost just the consistency and like, just the way they hit the ball. Like, I'm looking forward to kind of, because we do want to set up an interview with Christopher Eubanks soon. And it'd be great to kind of get his perspective on that, like in terms of like what that kind of jump feels like playing guys in a top 50, top 20, top 30, top 10, to like the guys, you know, just outside the top 100 on like the challenger level. Because I think the jump is quite big.
100%.
But no, shouts out to Eubanks, man. He did his thing this week. So hopefully he can have a strong 2022.
Definitely.
Gael Monfils, again, so he got a bye, being seeded, he got a bye into the second round. So he took out, or he had Filip Krajinovic in round 2. And that was a really good match, I thought, for Gael. Like, he struggled a bit after the Australian Open. So I think he played Marseille or Lyon. He played one of the ATP 250s in France. Yeah, and lost.
And he was slightly injured, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think he lost in the first round.
No, he had COVID or something like that. No.
You're right, actually.
No,
yeah.
he reacted to the vaccine.
The vaccine.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, and then he had to he had to put out like a
statement. And the way people were acting, I was like, guys, come on, like, you've heard of people reacting to the vaccine, like, stop, like.
Very crazy. But no,
like, he was just saying, I just reacted to the vaccine. That's it. People putting their thing.
He's anti-vax. No, we're not doing that.
Like, no,
and we're not talking about vaccine. Listen,
if he was anti-vax, he will not be vaccinated. That's job. That's Novak's job. That's Novak's job. That's for him.
No comment. Anyway, with Monfils, like it was good to see him play at that level against Krajinovic, because Krajinovic is a good player, like top 40, I wouldn't say top 40. And he can give a lot of guys trouble, like on his day. But yeah, Monfils was just too good, basically.
You saw the crowd. The crowd was there for him.
They loved it. Obviously, Monfils is loved all over. Like, and he was on one of the outside courts, but like you said, it was packed. Like, good atmosphere.
They were there.
But that is because
of
exactly who was playing. So yeah, Monfils now plays world number 1 Daniil Medvedev, who we can't say. Are we allowed to say like the country? Like, I've kind of.
Yes, we can. He's playing for. I mean, it's where he's from. Like,
they're
like the way. Exactly, but he's not Putin. Like, he's Medvedev, and he.
Just quickly, but actually, because I don't want to turn this into a political thing, but like, what has, because I know you did tweet something a couple of weeks ago after the whole like Russia invading Ukraine. Like, I have got my own views, Lucy, but I don't want to get too deep into it like on the podcast. But yeah, what are your views on like Russian athletes, for instance, or like Russian teams being able to compete like still in sport? Because in football, for instance, they've been suspended pretty much, like from like European competition, whereas in tennis, like they're still able to compete, but just not under the Russian flag. And one thing I do want to say as well, and I do really credit and like I respect her stance, because it's quite not against the grain, but it's like it's a strong point of view. And she, obviously being Ukrainian, she's entitled to have that kind of feeling. But Marta Kostyuk, I don't know if you saw her quotes or comments saying that she feels every Russian tennis player shouldn't be allowed to play. So you
agree with that?
I mean, when you look at other sports, like tennis is the only sport that's allowing Russians to compete, but under a neutral flag. So they're just not showing the Russian flag, basically.
Okay, so if that's the case, we need to remove a lot of flags if we're going to do that. That's the way that I see it. I'm so sorry. Russia's not the first. They're not the first country to be starting bullshit. I don't know. The way I see it is, unless you've literally said, yes, I'm rooting for what the president is doing, I'm rooting for what they're doing to Ukrainians and stuff, I will 100% understand. But from what I've seen, all the players, all people who are being punished the most out of all of this are not even the one who started this. Basically, if you're Russian today, you're effed up. And that doesn't mean I'm backing what it's saying. I'm just saying is that we're focusing on the wrong things here. Do you get what I mean? Like, I feel like you can really prove a point and stand on where you are without having to do so much. I am totally against banning players, whether it's tennis, football, bowling, whatever it is, from actually playing. Because at the end of the day, these people that need work, they need to feed their families, they need to pay their bills, and they have nothing to do with what has been happening. Like unless they've publicly, or we are fully aware that they actually support what they do. And from what I've heard from all the players, is not been it. And the way that I'm saying, if we're going to give that the smoke, then there's one country I for sure don't want to even say out loud, that should even be their flag to be removed. But, you know, we're not going to go there. I mean, like, it's sad what is happening, but at the same time, I'm sorry. No, I don't agree. I like the whole flag thing, being neutral, that's fine. But going to an extent of saying, oh, they players shouldn't play, even the whole company stopping everything in Russia. I'm just like, where's this going?
This is the thing, mate. It's a massive, it's a huge, like, there's huge consequences basically, and it's not just political, like it's across the board. Because it's potentially a war, like in terms of the European, like mainland Europe war, like that's pretty much unheard of since World War II. Like,
but it's not like the first time these type of things are happening. But we all know why. At the end of the day, people are acting like this. But I don't want to get into that. But
no, but again,
like, I don't know. To me, I think it's just a bit absurd, like to go to a point saying that Russian players should not play. Like, that's not fair on them.
It's extreme.
Like, to me, it's just an extreme. You wanted to remove the flags, no problem. That's completely fine.
And
we've dealt with this. We've dealt with this with the Olympics as well. The Olympics, they can't show their flags, remember? So it's the same thing. But no, I feel like no, players should not be punished for, you know, the things that are happening. That's just my point of view, anyways.
No, fair play. And I think that's completely like valid. Where are we going next? I mean, I guess, should we just go there?
We have to go there, unfortunately. Let me drink a little bit more.
Oh, Lucy, this is mad.
Let me just tell you, you know what, Eugene? God is good, because God knew I should have missed that match.
Every time.
Because God knew if I was awake and all of this was happening, first of all, Black Globe account would have been suspended. I would have probably been suspended in my private account. I would have actually gone crazy. I would have gone mad. But let's get to it.
Okay.
You watched it live, so I think you should actually even speak first about
pressure.
it. You watched it live.
Pressure.
I unfortunately, my plan was to sleep, wake up. I completely forgot to put my alarm for like at least 4 or 5 a.m. But I was really exhausted, so I literally just went to bed. But you stayed up. What happened?
Before we get to it, like the Osaka, like, because she was kind of trending before this even happened. So,
yes. Let's talk about that actually.
And again, I only watched her interview like quite late, but I watched it to get like proper context. And after watching the interview, so what we're referring to is the comment that she made about basically wanting to play as little tennis as possible. And again, that's not like a new thing. Like, she's kind of said that before. But like, I think her saying it now and like, I don't know. Like,
I think the first time she said it as much as in detail.
Oh, really?
Like, she really went.
So did you watch the whole?
I didn't. Do you know what I used? Now that I think, I'm about to go off record a little bit here, but I really used to watch a lot of like the press conference before. I don't know why I stopped, but that was really my thing. But I don't know why I watched. But no, I didn't watch the full thing. I only watched the clip of.
Yeah, because that's what I'm saying. You should watch the whole interview to actually get proper context. Because like she was answering the question, but like I forgot what the question was exactly, but it was basically saying, oh, like, how do you feel about like your scheduling in terms of like affecting your ranking? But it was linked to her ranking and like how it's dropped. And she was basically saying how like, what isn't good for her is the fact that she wants to play as little tournaments as possible, but that means it puts extra pressure on her to perform better, because obviously she needs to get her ranking up. So she was like basically being in that position, like it's not ideal. But I would definitely recommend you go and watch the interview to actually get a full idea of like what was actually like said and what she meant, because you'll get a clear understanding. Because I think people just on Twitter anyway, like they just ran away with the fact that she said, oh, she wants to play as few tournaments as possible. Like, what's this? Like, and people just ran away with that.
To be fair, I kind of took it like that a little bit, but
yeah, I think everyone did.
Yeah. But to be fair, it's so crazy. I promise you, this was one of the topics I was going to talk about, whether she made that interview or not. I was literally going to ask you on the next pod, like, how do you feel about her not playing enough matches? Because that's literally how much I wanted before this was a topic. It was literally on my mind.
And to answer your question, Lucy, not to cut you, like I as a fan, I hate it, like, because I want to see Osaka play week in, week out. I want to see her playing like 250s in Leon and like, do you get me? These mad links and all these mad European countries. But again, like, that's just me being a selfish fan. Like, we as fans, like we have no idea like what she's going through like mentally, and that comes first, like in any walk of life, whether you're an athlete, just as a person. Do you get me? Like your mental well-being is like the most important thing. So she needs to take care of that 100%. And like nobody can tell her, oh, you should be playing more, you should be doing this, or you should be no one has the right to tell her anything. So but like I said, as a fan, of course, like I want to see her playing like week in, week out. And it does kind of make me appreciate, you know, athletes in general, particularly tennis athletes, because one thing she did say in that interview as well is that the tennis season is too long, and it is.
It's long. That's one thing we can all agree on. Facts.
Tennis players do not get like a break in terms of like a summer break or pre-season. Like their season literally starts in January, ends in like November.
Sometimes even December.
Exactly. So it's like, where's the time to like just catch a breath? Like, there's literally no time. Plus, it's like, it's not a team sport. So like, literally all the kind of pressure and like expectation is weighing down on one person. Like, it's a lot to kind of deal with. So
for me, I've always felt like after the WTA ATP finals, stop there, boom, and start in January.
Yeah, because now like the Davis Cup and then Billie Jean Cup as well. Now I think that all ends towards the end of the year as well. Like they do this big finals thing, which is good for like I guess the brand of tennis, but then holding it at the end of the year, I don't know if that's like great scheduling like for the players.
Personally, I feel like the Davis Cup and BJK Cup, whatever, just needs to go.
No, don't say that.
I don't. Be honest. Out of all of the tournaments, isn't that the least, the one that you?
Do you know what? I think it needs a revamp. I think what they should do.
Look at the courts. They're even empty. Ain't nobody watching that shit.
No, I don't. I think it needs a revamp in terms of the branding of it. So I think, and not even just the branding.
What do you think of the revamp? What should it be like?
So I think it should be like a World Cup, like in football, where it's not every year. It's maybe every 2 or 3 years, and it also, it's not just a male or female event. It's like a combined thing. Do you get it? So like
a bit of like that tournament that they cut off. What's it called again? The Hopman Cup.
Exactly. So it's like a global event, and like you have nations just all coming together like in one venue, and it'd be like a festival of tennis. That'd be sick. Like even just talking about it. Like,
you know what? That's
like, and it's a right to the ATP ITF. Shit.
Is it? Bye. That's actually a good suggestion. That's a good suggestion. But me personally, I think that should be scrapped off, honestly speaking. I really don't see what's the point of it. I don't see what's the point of it.
Yeah, it's a view.
Bye.
It's a view. But yeah, like back to Osaka. Like
I do you know what? I agree with you. The whole like me as a fan, like I said, I was legit going to talk about this, whether this interview happened or not. Like it was in my head because, you know, after the Trader Open, there were some tournaments and I'm like, Osaka, where are you? You know, you should be here. Like, you know, I just really wish because the thing is, when people were going crazy on Twitter yesterday, you know, that's why I kept clarifying, like, yo, some of us are not asking her to play every single tournament during the year. One thing that we can all agree on is that the calendar is way too, like, there's too many tournaments. No one's asking her to play every single tournament. But I personally feel like one thing we can agree on is for her to play just a little bit more. I wish, as a fan, mainly because one, I feel like it will help her. Two, I want to watch her play, But like you said, at the end of the day, if she feels like that's what's best for her, I'm not going to be like, oh, I hate you, I'm not signing for you anymore. Da, da, da. Of course, gonna respect it. At the end of the day, it is what it is. And listen, she's privileged enough to do it. Do you get what I mean? Like, she doesn't need to play that many matches.
She can retire now. She's good for life.
Osaka can do whatever the fuck she wants to do. Really and truly, that's what it is. She can do whatever the fuck she wants to do. And I think that's what's really bothering people. It's the fact that Osaka does whatever the fuck she wants. She's going by the rules, but not really. Like, she's going by the rules, but in her own way.
Yeah.
Do you get what I mean? And I think, no, that's not what I think. I know that's what's really bothering people, which can lead to what we need to talk about, which is the whole incident that happened just a couple of hours ago.
It's wild, literally. Yeah. So basically, going into it, I wasn't like, I was expecting her to win. So like, I was quite excited. Do you get me? Obviously, I know the ranking is where it's at the moment, and Kudermetova, she's what, 20, I think she's 24 in the world, but she was seeded 21, I think, anyway, or vice versa. But yeah, when it started, Lucy, I was like, yeah, this seems a bit weird, like, just in terms of like the atmosphere. And I mean, it was all good. I think Osaka, she won the toss, so she elected to serve. She got broken straight away. So I was like, wow, okay. So like, I was like, oh, maybe it's just nerves, like, do you get me? It's last match on, like, it's late. And then Kudermetova, to her credit, like, yeah, she was playing well. Like, she served, her service game was a pretty easy hold for her. Like, I think she held to love, possibly. So it was the third game, when Osaka was getting ready to serve. Yeah, someone like shouted something, and like, you couldn't really hear it. Like, it wasn't audible, basically. So
from like, reading people's tweets, no one knew what it was. Everyone was like, what's going on?
And even the commentators, they were like, oh, like, basically someone's, they weren't really sure what was going on, but they knew, you could see Osaka was bothered. So yeah, Osaka, before she was getting ready to serve, this is the first point of the third game. And then, like, yeah, someone in the crowd yelled something out or heckled or whatever. And then Osaka walks over to the umpire. Again, you can't really hear what they're saying because like the mic is off or whatever. Like, you can't really, do you get me? So it was difficult to kind of hear or understand what was going on at that point, but you can just see Osaka was clearly bothered. She goes back to serve. The crowd like start cheering and stuff, like obviously trying to like get her or show that they're behind her, they're supporting her. Again, she loses like that game, so she's now 3-love down. And Lucy, the thing is, before she started that third game, like, you can visibly see she was in tears, like she was choked up, and like she even like, wiped her eyes, like, to show that she was crying, not to show, but she was crying. Basically, it was visible to see she was crying. So it was a really like difficult kind of watch, basically. And I felt really sorry for her, because I was like, what was said? That was the first thing I wanted to know, like, what was actually said that she heard, bothered her. And then that first set was literally a write-off for her. Like, you can tell it was clearly on her mind. I think she called for the like tournament referee to like come out, because she wanted to like talk to the crowd, or she wanted to use the umpire's microphone.
So that bit was during the match, because I saw a clip of that, but I thought that was at the end of the match.
No. So she was asking the umpire to like, basically, she wanted to address the crowd. So she was like, oh, basically something's weighing heavy on her heart. Like she just wants to say something. And then the umpire was like, oh, I don't think I could allow you to do that. Like, let me call the tournament referee. And then the referee was like talking to her, and like, obviously probably explained that, yeah, you can't do that. But like I said, that was clearly bothering her, like, throughout that whole first set. She lost it 6-love. And I don't know how many times like she's lost 6-love on the WTA tour, probably not many. But yeah, in the second set, like, to her credit, she got it together. Like, she was much more like, with it in terms of like, you know, the job at hand. She kind of knew she had to just basically zone in, and she tried to the best of her ability, basically. But again, you can still kind of see it was playing on her mind. And then I was like checking Twitter to see, like, I wonder if anyone's tweeted like what was actually said. Nothing was really going on, like, because it was quite late again. But
so it wasn't until the end of the match that people knew what was being said.
Exactly. So after that, obviously she lost. I think she lost the second set. Sorry, 6-4. And then like obviously they shook hands or whatever. And then it was Andrew Krasny. He's the on-court commentator who like interviews the players after matches. I think Osaka, she waited. Yeah, she was speaking to the tournament like referee after, so she like hung around. Usually players when they've lost the match, they'll just walk off.
They just go straight. Yeah,
like so she basically hung around, waited for Kudermetova to like address the crowd or like basically talk about the victory. And then Osaka then jumped on the mic, and then obviously we all know what she said. And Lucy, like it was mad, like, because again, my mind didn't really go there in terms of like the whole Venus and Serena thing until she mentioned it. So when she said basically, and again, like talking through tears, like it was just a very difficult watch. And like I said to you this morning, like going on Twitter to see people's reaction, like it was sickening, like, really and truly. Even to the thing that we posted, like, because I was thinking to myself, like, how I don't want to show. Obviously, this is like she's a professional athlete. Media, they're going to jump on the fact that she was crying on court. Like that's like an immediate go-to in terms of images and like, do you get me? Content. But I didn't want to like focus on that. And I don't know if that's like the right kind of way to go about it, or do you get me? That's why I went with the more kind of positive.
Which that people even still, you saw the comments, right? Our mentions, people on our mentions were like, come on, guys,
this is what I'm trying to say to you. Like, I'm in no way like trying to minimize what she went through, but at the same time, I'm trying to, again, I'm thinking that this is all happening at such a quick pace as well. Quick. And again, I didn't want to focus on the negative, and like at no point, which some people have like kind of said in our mentions, or like we're trying to minimize racism. Like, no, I'm sorry, it's not that. It's not that at all. Like, so like kind of knowing what you know now, and that was an awful kind of like explanation of or description of what happened. But yeah, you now knowing what you know now, like, what are your views on it? And like, where do you kind of stand or sit?
This is so hard. I'm not gonna lie to you, Eugene. I actually did think I was gonna struggle to record today. Hence why I wanted this bit to be the last thing that we speak about. Yeah. Because it was triggered. But before I actually even get into details, I do want to say, first of all, Naomi Osaka, you probably will never see this, but we fucking love you. Like, we're proud of you.
She'll see it.
Don't let anyone tell you how you're supposed to feel, supposed to act, what you're supposed to do. If you wanted to fucking cry, you cry. These players, when they're frustrated, they're smashing rackets, they're shouting at the umpire, they're literally bullying, physically abusing the umpire, and nothing's being said. But all you did was little tears because of how you felt, which you rightfully had the right to do. Like, don't excuse, don't do any of that. And she's great vibes, because if it was me, I'd just everyone to suck their mum, and I would have told them, I've got 16 million and you can't tell me shit. You can't talk. But she's good vibes, so she's not telling anyone that. So that's that.
She actually thanked the
crowd. Like, I would have been like, fuck all of you, first of all, fuck you, and fuck that woman that was shouting, fuck her, right? Fucking fuck. That's what I would have done. But again, she's great vibes. I'm bad vibes. I like chaos. So that's why I would have gone there, but it is what it is. But besides that reading the stuff that I saw online, even in our IG comment.
I've not even been on IG. I'm not, God.
I was just like, do you know what's so crazy? It's like, if I am feeling even triggered myself like that, I can't imagine how she feels. Like, because
you know what? I think we should read out what she said, like, just for context as well, like in terms of what she said on court. So basically, I've got it here. So and this is again all through tears. Like,
Mm-hmm.
so she's speaking, but she's also crying. Like it's tough.
Yeah.
So she said basically, to be honest, I've gotten heckled before. Like it really didn't bother me, but heckled here. I've watched a video of Venus and Serena getting heckled here, and if you've never watched it, you should watch it.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know why, but it like went into my head and it got replayed a lot. And then after she basically said, yeah, she just wants to thank the crowd and like she congratulated Kunamatova for the victory. And then obviously the thing I tweeted was Andrew Krasny's response saying, listen, out of about 10,000 people, one person's voice can't weigh out 9,999 others, and we love you here. Like, and then obviously the whole, everyone was clapping and like, you know, cheering as she walked off. But yeah, I mean, that incident she's referring to, Venus and Serena, that happened back in 2001, and that basically led to Venus and Serena then boycotting the tournament, like for what was it, 15 odd years? Like, do you get me? And that was terrible, like what they kind of endured and went through at that time. So like you said, that triggered Osaka, and like no one has any right to kind of say, oh, how could that trigger you? Listen, if something triggers you, it triggers you. Like, and as a Black person, you're gonna feel it. Like,
and I think that's what I need people to understand. I think that's why she really wanted to address the crowd and be like, yo, listen, if it was any other tournament, I personally feel like if it was another tournament, it probably wouldn't have hit her that much.
Yeah, definitely.
You know what I mean? But I think that's why she really wanted to make it clear and be like, this place there's already history here. Do you get what I mean? Even as a Black tennis fan, we all know, we all feel some type of way about Indian Wells, and we always will. So I can't imagine how it is for players.
Well, I do also want to say as well, because she that was where she won her first tournament back in 2018.
Yes, yeah.
So
yeah.
I think also that kind of like that played on her mind as well, to think, wow, like this is the place where I won my first tournament. Someone's shouting abuse at me. Like it's a bit mad.
No, the thing is, these are the things that I just want people to stop telling her that she should retire, she should stop playing tennis. And the word or sentence that really pissed me off the most is the whole mental toughness, blah, blah, blah. Because if we're going to go about mental toughness, right, then let's all agree, none of these players have mental toughness. If that was the case, but it's true, if that was the case, they will not be they won't be reacting the way they're reacting when they're losing either, or when people are shouting things at them. Like, this is my issue. Like, and that word for me as a Black woman is extremely triggering, because it's always like people want us to be fucking tough. Sometimes I'm not tough, and sometimes I want to fucking cry. Like, it is what it is. Let her do what she wants to do. And the thing is that I feel like she was really, the reason why I generally sense and feel like she was in a good place, mainly because she literally just told us a couple of days ago that she's ready to go back to clay. And I should feel like she was speaking all like positive shit.
Yeah.
She literally said, you know what, I feel like I have what it takes to go far in clay. So I'm looking forward to that. The same thing that literally broke her down last year. So she's literally moving up. So the fact that people are coming back saying she needs that to take a break, she needs to retire, she's good, or she's only playing because she's on 60 million. This is why people need to also go back to her Netflix documentary, because I feel like on that documentary, she literally showed us, I can't actually even afford to leave because I worked my ass way too hard where I am right now to let it go. My family, my parents sacrificed way too much for me to let it go. It's a bit like Keke Palmer when she tweeted about, like, you know, people always talk about her always getting her bag and stuff. And she literally made a tweet and said, my parents sacrificed too much for me to stop working. And I feel like with Osaka is literally the same thing, which is what she was trying to tell us in that documentary. So the fact that people are now today saying that, yeah, she doesn't like tennis, of course she fucking likes it. The issue is you don't like the way she wants to do things. The thing is, Osaka's always had like kind of heat on her, but the heat started more when she decided to wear the mask, when she decided to stop one of the points brutality. Let's be fucking honest, really and truly. That is when people started having issues with her. And on top of that, she's not white. The last thing you ever want to do is show as a Black person, an Asian person, a mixed person, whatever you are, as long as you're not white, the last thing you want to do is show to them that you're in control of your shit and you want to do whatever you want, especially in fucking tennis. It threatens them. They fucking hate it. We have to fucking deal with it. Like, it was very annoying. Like, till she comes and tell us herself, my mental health is bad at the moment, because since then, she's been showing great signs, showing that she's good. Till we hear that from her, till we hear from her that she doesn't like playing, or that she's only playing for sponsorship, everyone should shut the fuck up, and no one should be telling her the way that she acted. And of course, for white people, it's very easy for them to not understand how triggering it is for a Black player to be playing in Indian Wells and be hearing stuff. Whether that player says something racial or not, it doesn't matter. Like, it hit her. It's like it's just obvious. It just literally just hit her. But she's fucking human. And that's what I love about Osaka. Like, she could have been a whole different person. She's been humble ever since. She has that's why I say she's the greatest vibes. My girl is rich and she's winning back to back, and people are chatting shit about her. She should be telling everyone to fuck off, really and truly. She should say, everyone, oi, fuck right off. I can buy your life times 12. Don't come and chat to me. But she's not. But it's simply because she's doing her own shit. That's what's really bothering people. And it always goes back. I don't care what anyone says. It always goes back to fucking race. The way people's reaction, it goes back to fucking race. When Emma was losing after winning her US Open, right? Everyone was like, oh, mental health. I'm so glad taking care of her mental health, blah, 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 blah. Mental health only matters when you're white. Because according to them, with us Black people, we can handle the struggle, we can handle the toughness, when to have mental toughness, built different, da, 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 da.
Yeah, Lucy, one thing I want to say, like you said it so well, that the whole, like, Black athlete, like, controlling, like, the narrative, that is such a key point. Like, and I think in this day and age now, like, yeah, we are seeing that more and more, and I love that. Like, not just in tennis, but in across all sports, and
everywhere.
it is really an American thing. Like, I think they're ahead of the game in that point, or like, just from a basketball point of view anyway. Like, to see so many basketball players, like, I'm thinking of LeBron and like those kind of guys. But yeah, they are really in control of, like, what they say to the media, and, like, you know, how they're kind of portrayed in the media, because they've got their own platforms to, like, speak. Osaka, she's been on, like, The Shop, for instance, where she spoke about, you know, her mental health and all that kind of stuff as well. Like, and I think, yeah, we're at a time now where, as much as it's great to have access, and, like, for fans anyway, like, we feel so connected to athletes, I do think that's also quite dangerous as well. Do you get me? Because it's, I was
gonna say that. Facts.
People get too familiar almost to say, oh, like, you can't be feeling this way because, I don't know, you posted this the other day, and, like, do you get me? Where you're not in their lives to kind of
people were like, oh, she's not paying, but she's going at fashion shows.
Like, you can't, doing this, she's doing the two that. Don't equate. Like, yeah, you can't do that. But that is, like, the sad kind of world we live in right now, which is very, very unfortunate.
Entitlement that people really feel.
Yeah.
Like, there's someone who tweeted, her at name is Sloane Osaka. She said something that was really dope. She was like, oh, people are going to drag her for being too sensitive, emotional, and they're going to tell her to get off tennis court, but I don't care. I'm proud of Naomi, and I think she's a great example of the fact that athletes are people. The same as you and I. They're not machines without feelings. So if you were doing your fucking job and someone out here shouting you suck, or you're shit at your job, you're going to be like, oh, okay, mental toughness. You might even just go and beat up the person, really and truly. So honestly speaking, like, that's the thing. And just like you said earlier, like, aside of me even said to myself earlier, I kind of wish she didn't really open up that mental health thing, because now people are using it to weaponize and be like, oh, her mental health is not great. Did she tell you her mental health is not great? Because now you're saying that whatever happens, she can't react. So now Osaka's in a position where if she's too excited, oh, it's too much. If she's too, it's like she's too emotional, or blah, blah, blah. Bro, at the end of the day, the type of person that she is still helped her win her 4 fucking slams back to back, still playing her best, still winning your faves, still getting that money, and you ain't shit, period. Shout out to Osaka.
And I think that's how we need to end it there, right there.
That's it.
Period.
I hope, period. I hope she's well. I hope she takes good care of herself and she comes back whenever she wants. And
Facts.
listen, take some of my tips. I'm telling you, sometimes just say fuck off.
Hopefully it's Miami as well. Because she's got a
hopefully
wild
it's
card
yeah,
into Miami. So
I really hope she just keeps going. And I really hope she just focus on, you know, the people who are like loving her. Fuck them niggas.
100%.
That's it. But I have to say, it was very hard for me this morning. I'm not gonna lie to you. Extremely hard. Like, I hear it. Like some of the things that were being said, I've heard that myself. People saying like me, or that looks like I've heard that myself. But again, fuck them.
and on that note, no man. Again, like you said, Lucy, I can't really. As a black woman too, like it definitely must hit different for you.
So different.
So
yeah, different.
Like props, man.
So
time.
Different.
Big
but
time.
That's it for us.
That's it.
We still got Indian Wells going.
We do, and Miami to come.
So
we'll probably be back after Miami now. Let's say. Hopefully, it's a stress-free, drama-free tournament.
Yo, tennis. Do you know what? The thing is, the drama comes out of nowhere.
I know. I did love Miami last year too. I really enjoyed Miami. Like I thought it was a really nice event.
Oh, I was scared as shit. Do you remember? Because of the whole COVID.
Yeah.
I remember I was fucking terrified. I was saying no crowds, nothing.
But it was enjoyable. So hopefully more the same this year, and even more like better because of like, the whole crowd being back as well, or crowds being allowed. But yeah, guys, man, listen, thanks for listening. And again, like we appreciate all the interaction, mostly positive on the socials. A lot of love we've been getting recently as well, which is it's noted. So just a big thank you and like a massive shout out to you all as well, like for just continuing to like support, because it does mean a lot and goes a very long way. So yeah, man, we're going to keep bringing you content. More interviews coming up as well.
Sure.
And yeah, man, just continue like growth. So just a big thank you. And yeah, we look forward to podding again. I don't want to say when exactly, but definitely after Miami.
Right before
clay
the ghetto open, the clay season.
Lucy's favorite tournament.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, guys, appreciate you all. And until next time, take care.